Council on November 17th, 2020 to order. Can we all stand for a moment of silence, please? Thank you very much. So on Wednesday, November 11th, 2020, I attended the Eatonville Legion Remembrance Day service. The pleasant weather was appreciated by all who attended the outdoor service, which was highlighted by a flyover of 4 CH-147 Chinook military helicopters in diamond formation. The nominations for Renfrew County Warden closed on November 13th, 2020, with only one candidate. Debbie Robinson has been acclaimed for another year as warden for Renfrew County. That is my mayor's address. I have a resolution that council accept the November 17th, 2020 mayor's address as presented. And I'm going to move in a second. Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Burton. Councilor Burnt?
Yes.
Councilor Buchwald?
Yes.
Councilor Recchi-Schoenfeld?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
So that's, and I'm a yes, that's carried. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? Seeing none, then we'll move on to the adoption of the minutes of our November 10th, 2020 meeting. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councilor Buchwald, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Are there any additions, corrections, or omissions? Seeing none, Councilor Burnt?
Yes.
Councilor Buchwald?
Yes.
Councilor Recchi-Schoenfeld?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
I'm a yes, that's carried. We have no delegations tonight, so we'll move on to item 7, which is reports. And you'll find attached the library report and the library CEO report. Is it possible to bring up the library report? I just had one question on one item. The community input survey, when will that be implemented? Will it be the new year, or is that something unique for the library? For the library, okay.
Because we're trying to get an understanding of the service delivery.
And they're going to have a special subcommittee to put the questions together. Okay. That was it for me. Thank you. Any other questions, comments on the library reports? Can I get a mover and a seconder to accept the library and CEO reports as presented? Moved by Councilor Burns, seconded by Councilor Buchwald. Councilor Burns?
Yes.
Councilor Buchwald?
Yes.
Councilor Recchi-Schoenfeld?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Yes, that's carried. Thank you. Item number 8 is the departmental updates. I have a resolution that council accepts the fire department shared services and department updates as presented. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councilor Schoenfeld, seconded by Councilor Robinson. And we have the fire chief with us tonight, so I would just ask if he would speak to the report, please.
I was just figuring I'll be here to answer questions. The fire department report. Once again, the motor vehicle collisions seem to be the flavor of the day these days. On the 24th of October, we had a combined training session with KHR at Wilkins Mill. Well attended by both departments. It was centered around being familiar with the place, things how it's such a large facility and such a major part of the local economy. We come back and after that was done, a small group of us went back to take actual measurements. So we could get a defined pre-plan, saying what vehicle's going to do what in case of emergency. Let's take some of the guesswork out of it. You can't account for everything, but we're going to certainly try. Golden Lake Station progressing along. Here she, and of course, took a bit of a hit on that. We got one more candidate for Golden Lake Station. We're still short 4 firefighters and 1 captain. And the auto extrication stuff will be here on the 29th of November, which will be our first training day. Does anyone have any questions regarding that?
Councilor Schoenfeld.
Are the 4 firefighters and 1 captain there? They're all at the Golden Lake Fire Station?
Yes, that's totally sure.
And I think you covered in your report, just with the training that you had at Wilkins Mill, is KHR willing to look at another agreement where it would be first response in case that there's something within the closer proximity to their border?
Yeah, that was part of the second report, but yes. Yes, they are. Put this way, the chief is willing to take it on. But the council is.
Right.
Anyone else have any questions regarding the status update? Right, the shared services.
We
have
We don't know, just mutual aid if we need them.
That's correct.
Yes.
If there was some kind of agreement, how far would they travel?
Well, the
Beacon area?
The Beacon area, you just let them pass it. Usually they go around 8 kilometers. It won't take you all the way up Trinwell Road.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And the property's up there, but it'll get you on Trinwell Road halfway up.
Very widely, is probably the thing.
Yes,
Opens and so on, all the places in there.
that's correct.
How far would it come down from Kill into the Beacon, like, not how far, is Village Road?
Not as far as I know, we cover Scow Lane and
B Drive, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's all part of the second report. Yeah, we did a quick count. There was about approximately 125 properties that they would be able to cover within that 8-kilometer range. And all that comes up because the fire underwriters don't consider Beacon Hall to be a fire station. Not because of the lacking of personnel or anything there, it's just because I've currently left a couple of voice messages. I'm still waiting to hear back from fire underwriters. Just to see exactly what would be done in order to bring us back up to speed at the Beacon station.
And now with Kill, with like Richard's fire department on the highway, they're really quicker than the to us too.
Yes, all these numbers were based on the new station.
Okay.
So the fire underwriters would that be that they would expect there be a pumper and a tanker?
I believe that is the criteria, but I want to talk to him in person and verify that. Or whether a pumper tanker would be acceptable.
Right.
That's the thing I really want to speculate on. But I hear it in course of time.
Right. It certainly would be advantageous if we could have another agreement with KHR. Any other questions or comments for Fire Chief? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. Councilor Byrd?
Yes.
Councilor Buckles?
Yes.
Councilor Rector,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
And a yes, that's carried.
That just the share reports. Share services.
It's both. The resolution covers both the shared services and the fire department. Item 8.2 is our bylaw enforcement update and have a resolution. The council accepts the bylaw enforcement update as presented. I'm going to move in a second. Moved by Councilor Burke, seconded by Councilor Buckles. Comments or questions? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. Councilor Burke,
Yes.
Councilor Buckles,
Yes.
Councilor Rector,
Yes.
or Councilor Robinson.
Yeah.
Getting ahead of myself. Yes, that's carried. Thank you. That brings us to item 9, which is correspondence. Item 9.1.1 is that council accepts correspondence item 9.1.1 to 9.1.2 as information. Can I get a mover in a second? Moved by Councilor Rector, seconded by Councilor Byrd. The only question I had, and it's really in regards to the cybercrime incident that the county experienced. Do we have those checks and balances in place to make sure that if we were faced with a similar situation, that we have the ability to catch something like that, or that we have enough authorization in place that we would pick something like that up?
We do have internal controls in place, and presently, the only bills that are approved online are recurring bills such as Canada, those types of bills. All other payments are made on check. It's required to post numbers.
Thank you. It was just something that the county felt lucky that they had an employee who caught this, because I guess it was one of the larger contracts that they were working on, and whoever instigated the attack knew that there was a progress payment scheduled. And so that's why the banking information, they were changing the banking information in correspondence with this progress payment. So yeah, they are. Yeah. So they instituted some more checks in their system to make sure that they don't get caught with something like that going forward. So I'll call the vote. Councilor Burns.
Yes.
Councilor Buckles.
Yes.
Councilor Recchi Schoenfeld.
Yes.
Councilor Robinson.
Yeah.
And a yes. Great. Item 9.1.2, I have a resolution that council directs staff to submit an application to the 2021 Celebrate Canada program using a virtual format with an in-person component if possible for Canada Day events. Can I get a mover in a second? Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Recchi. Comments or questions? Would we be planning virtual event similar to last summer.
That is their plan, yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes, just a little more.
Dress up more like Canada Day.
Kind of have.
Yeah, I need a fancier hat.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. Council Burns,
Yes.
Council Buckles. Yes. Council Rector Schoenfeld,
Yes.
Council Robinson.
Yes.
And a yes, that's carried. Thank you. Item 9.2.2, I have a resolution that council accept the proposed operations on Algonquin Park Forest 2021 to 2031 Forest Management Plan as information, and if council desires to make comment, members of council are encouraged to bring forward a report to an upcoming meeting of council. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Council Rector Schoenfeld, seconded by Council Burns. Any questions? Comments? Seeing none, I will call the vote. Council Burns,
Yes.
Council Buckles. Yes. Council Rector Schoenfeld,
Yes.
Council Robinson.
Yeah.
I'm a yes, that's carried. Item 9.2.3, I have a resolution that council accepts the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing confirmation of disaster relief funding. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Council Robinson, seconded by Council Rector Schoenfeld. Questions or comments? Councilor Buckle?
Just one, how close did this come to our request that we submitted?
So your request we submitted was for 154,000. Oh. Okay, so we also have to pay 10%, so we're about $6,000 short.
Which is really good because at one point we were maybe expecting only to get in the $70,000 to $80,000 range reimbursed. So that's really good news.
I think the fastest disaster funding I've ever seen. Second,
I would agree, because the last time I think we waited almost 2 years before we actually got the check.
When would that be coming to the new year then?
Within 7 days.
7 days.
I'll send you the email, yes.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, Councilor Burns,
Yes.
Councilor Buckle,
yes.
Councilor Rector Schoenfeld,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson.
Yeah.
And a yes, that's carried. Thank you. So that brings us to item 10, which is bylaws. I have bylaw 2020-90 to regulate off-road vehicles. Now therefore, the Council of North Algona Wilberforce Township enact the following bylaws. Bylaw 2020-90 being the bylaw to regulate off-road vehicles. Can I get a mover and a second? Moved by Councilor Burns, seconded by Councilor Buckle. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, Councilor Burns,
Yes.
Councilor Buckle,
Yes.
Councilor Rector Schoenfeld,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson. I'm a yes, that's carried. Thank you. I have a resolution that council going to close at 7:19 p.m. Did I miss something?
Just get going.
Oh, sorry, yes, I did. So item 14 is upcoming meetings and unfinished business. So item 14.1 is the public meeting of November 30th, 2020 at 7 p.m. at the Golden Lake Community Center. Item 14.2 is our next regular council meeting will be December 1st, 2020 at 7 p.m. And then we have item 14.3, which is the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing, the enforcement orders for reopening Ontario, further changes to the reopening Ontario. And maybe I will just ask staff if they can speak to that.
I'll try not to talk tonight. So basically, the one that council would like to look at is we've been waiting for the color coding, the red, green. So there's 29 pages explaining that. We are in a green situation right now, but you can, when it's pull it up, Michelle. You just get to the actual color code. The province announced this almost, well, 2.5 weeks ago, and it never really gave us anything. This finally got the information last night, so I wanted to make sure that so we just bring that up a little bit. So this is what we're going to hear. Your green, your yellow, your orange, or your red. Apparently, your white, your lockdown. A little confusing because the actual final state doesn't have a color. But that is the color coding that Ontario is going by. So when the province talks about things, they talk about you being in a green zone or a red zone, and then down below they'll tell you what your color is. So that's the clarification that everyone's been waiting for. And at this time, we're presently in green.
I thought we were in yellow.
I think it did change from. I know what I'm saying.
Not the other day. I think it's
Yeah, because somebody sent
I'll
me,
give it told us this morning that we're green.
Okay.
somebody sent me an email. We're having a meeting where we thought they were yellow.
Have you always went to county in green?
That's what was indicated this morning.
And to move from one color to another, you have to maintain 7 days below a certain percentage of COVID.
So what the House Senate told us today is that the province can change at their risk. So they can see a trend coming and they can say, well, tomorrow you're ready, will you agree today? So it can change pretty quickly. There's no magic number.
Okay.
Basically on their monitoring.
It's on their monitoring, the recommendation from the local health unit, which is completely different from what the province made.
Okay.
So that's just provided their information because we've been waiting for it for a while.
It is so kind of confusing.
Yeah.
Because the good news is the numbers in Ottawa have really gone down. There was only 11 new cases today. But the scary place is Toronto. Their numbers are creeping up more and more. Yeah. So that brings us to item 14.4, which is the Ministry of Infrastructure Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program, and maybe I'll ask staff to keep it on there as well.
So this is put on for something to look at in the future. We'll be bringing a report forward to council on what we can do with that program, and that'll be coming very soon. We do have a deadline to the 25th of December to apply, so we do look a little bit of time. But there is a plan coming forward to council regarding what that money can be spent for.
They give you an outline what can be used for?
Yes, we have a pretty detailed outline, so we're making a detailed report to come back to council, which I think will be quite beneficial for all of the community.
Any other questions or comments? That then brings us to item number 15, We have, well, I have a resolution, council goes into close at 7:25 p.m. Pursuant to section 2.3.9(2)(b) of the Municipal Act for three personal matters about identifiable individuals, including municipal or local board employees. I'm going to move in a second. Moved by Councilor Schoenfeld, seconded by Councilor Buckwald. Councilor Berg,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councilor Schoenfeld,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
Yes.
and a yes. Thank you. Are we offline, Laura?
This is the quickest meeting we've had in